Hi, I'm Stephen Thrasher, and I'm a registered patent attorney. And one of the questions I get most often is, Steve, hey, should I file for a provisional application or a utility patent application? And so we're going to do in this video is explore some, not all, but some of the reasons why you might prefer to filing a provisional as opposed to a utility and vice versa. So in general, you will really want to consider filing a provisional if you got to move fast. So let's say that you're at a trade show, or you're about to go to a trade show, or you're about to disclose your invention to someone. Because we live in a first-to-file system, you don't want someone else learning about your product or your invention and then going out and filing for something on their own, or just even blogging about it can harm your ability to get a patent. So you want to move fast. Provisional is fast. Secondly, a provisional has a lower cost. A provisional just doesn't have the formality requirements that a utility does. And for that reason, we don't have to submit formal drawings, formal claim sets, and it's not examined by the patent office, so you don't have to worry about things like, well, spelling errors. So it's just less expensive to file for a provisional patent application. A third reason is if your product's still in development. If you go ahead and file a utility application while your product's in development and things change, well, updating a utility application is difficult, and conceptually it's possible through things called continuations in part. You have to file for a new patent application if you invent new stuff or further develop your stuff after you file a utility application. And for that reason, a provisional kind of gives you that holding place in line and lets you work on your product development until it's further along. The fourth reason, and this one really speaks to the entrepreneur, is if you're going to be testing the market and you don't want to spend the money to file for a utility application. After all, if there's not a market for the thing that you want to sell, you don't want to move down the route of perhaps what could be viewed as wasting money filing a utility patent application. Now, when would you prefer to file for a utility patent application? Well, one reason, and this used to be a dominant one, was if you had less urgency about the priority date. If you were developing something in secret and you were confident that nobody else out there was working on something similar, then there wasn't really a penalty for waiting. Now that's less true today because of the first to file system and the race to the patent office. But in general, if you can wait a few weeks longer, you might consider filing a utility application, because over the long run, it'll save you the money that you'd spend filing a provisional. You would also consider filing a utility application, and prefer to do so, if there was more urgency toward the allowance of the application. So I mentioned earlier that a provisional is never examined, so it actually never becomes a patent. You have to file for a utility application for it to become a patent. Well, you don't get in line for that examination based on the date of a provisional. You get in line based on the date that you file the utility application. So a faster start or a sooner start means a sooner endpoint. And the utility application is the way to go if that's important to you. Additionally, if you've completed development of your product, that's a pretty good indication that you can go ahead and file for the utility application. Because if you spend the money on the provisional and the product doesn't change at all, then that can feel like wasted money over the course of a year. The fourth reason that you would perhaps have a preference for filing a utility patent application is if you're going to market soon. Now, going to market soon is kind of the entrepreneur equivalent of completed development. But I list it separately because entrepreneurs, when I talk to entrepreneurs, often these other reasons get tuned out. But going to market soon, I'm hoping, and in my experience, this speaks to the entrepreneurs better. So if you're going to market soon, you're going to have a preference for filing a utility patent application. Now, of course, every situation is different. your circumstances will be different because all the facts about your invention and your market and how you're developing it and how you plan to use that invention will be different. So direct your specific questions to either my office or your own patent attorney. And if you have any general questions about this or your own reasons why you would prefer to file a provisional over a utility or vice versa, go ahead and ask or list those below. See you in the next video.